Top 10 crazy facts about the coronavirus outbreak. The typical good faith that accompanies another year didn't keep going long in 2020. Between the potential danger of a universal war, powered by the Iran-United States strife, and the genuine risk of a coronavirus, the previous barely any months have been tense. These are frightening occasions, and the internet is by all accounts loaded up with bits of gossip and falsehood, and no limited quantity of pearl-clutching. Let's reasonable up the main confusion. The coronavirus isn't called COVID-19. Rather, COVID-19 is the name of the illness brought about by the infection. That infection has been named SARS-CoV-2, Extreme Intense Respiratory Disorder Coronavirus 2. Consider it like AIDS and HIV. HELPS is the name of the illness. HIV is the infection that causes AIDS, and like our past Wuhan influenza records, we're going to keep things somewhat lighter here. We'll concentrate on the inquisitive side of the infection and the malady, including some intriguing subtleties we haven't secured yet. Top 10 essential facts about the coronavirus, the only article you'll ever need about COVID-19. 10. The Corona beer brand was damaged. Discussion about misfortune. The Corona lager logo has a crown on it. Corona signifies crown in Spanish and Latin. Unintentionally, the coronavirus got its name from the crown-like spikes on the outside of the infection particles. 1. When a few people originally found out about the new infection, they were befuddled and may have related it with the Corona lager brand. They may have even accepted that the infection was spread by drinking the brew. It is indistinct the amount of an effect this mixed-up conviction has had on deals of the lager, as different sources have announced distinctive results. According to YouGov, a British statistical surveying firm, Corona Brew's buzz score, a proportion of the prevalence of the brand, has dropped from 75 to 51 since the start of 2020. 9. The whistleblower scientist was killed by COVID-19. It's practically similar to the coronavirus is attempting to dispose of any observers. In an agitating incongruity, Li Wenliang kicked the bucket subsequent to contracting COVID-19. Li, a Chinese specialist who worked at Wuhan Central Hospital, was known for being vocal about the perils of this rising virus, at least as ahead of schedule. As December 30, 2019, Li cautioned individual surgeons about the chance of a flare-up. The Chinese police exhorted him to quit, offering bogus remarks in an administration endeavor to hide the circumstance where no one will think to look. Li Wenliang, coronavirus demise of Wuhan specialist flashes outrage. The 7th of February 2020 from BBC NEWS https://t.co/94xkpennrj, Zhang Fei. At Zhang Fei 4321, March 7, 2020. After Li's grievous demise, a major piece of the Chinese populace was naturally vexed. This moved the hashtags Wuhan government owes Dr. Li Wenliang a statement of regret and we need the right to speak freely of discourse to slant on Weibo, a Chinese web-based life website. The Chinese government rushed to edit both hashtags. 2. This most recent debate just adds fuel to the troublesome connection between Chinese specialists and their populace. In 2019, the pressure between Terrain China and Hong Kong arrived at a limit because of opposition from Hong Kong against the administration's arrangements. 8. The coronavirus is deadlier for men. Chinese researchers have discovered that people are similarly prone to be contaminated by the coronavirus. However, fatalities in China have happened at a pace of 2.8% for men contrasted with 1.7% for ladies, recommending that men are bound to bite the dust when contaminated. Remember that these measurements may downplay the pace of disease in the two gatherings, so these rates could be amended with new information. 3. At present, the most likely explanation behind the sex distinction can be credited to something that researchers definitely knew: the female invulnerable reaction is more grounded than that of males. Although the specific purpose behind this is as yet obscure, it is accepted to be connected to either the more significant levels of estrogen hormone in ladies or the way that every lady has two X chromosomes rather than a man's one X chromosome. Both factors add to insusceptibility. This sex distinction could happen for transformative reasons, as ladies need to stay sound for delayed occasions to tolerate kids and support them. 7. COVID-19 has already killed more people than SARS. As of this composition, we are around a quarter of a year into this new pestilence. Is there any genuine explanation behind panic? At first look, it appears that there may be. In a flat-out sense, Wuhan influenza has just executed a larger number of individuals than SARS, serious intense respiratory disorder, which was brought about by another strain of coronavirus in the mid-2000s. Be that as it may, the rates tell an alternate story. As of this composition, 101,906 individuals have contracted COVID-19 and 3,465 have kicked the bucket of it. On the other hand, 8,098 individuals turned out to be sick with SARS and 774 died. Up until this point, the general demise rate from COVID-19 seems, by all accounts, to be 3.4%, while the casualty rate from SARS was an astounding 9.6%. Of course, any passings from COVID-19 are too much. In any case, a significant concern with respect to this infection is the means by which effectively, and guilefully, it can spread. On the off chance that you are inside 1.8 meters (6 feet) of a tainted individual, you are viewed as in danger. That makes any tram a potential problem area for contamination. Furthermore, it can take as long as about 14 days for an individual to create manifestations. That makes this new infection nearly as simple to come down with as the basic bug. However, COVID-19 is unquestionably increasingly deadly. The coronavirus may also kill the global economy in 2020. The worldwide economy carries on to some degree like a living being, and it began 2020 with a frightful bug. As indicated by the World Bank, the underlying projections for worldwide development in 2020 were 2.5%, somewhat over the post-emergency low recorded in 2019. To exacerbate the situation, the coronavirus plague is influencing China, one of the most impressive economies on the planet. As indicated by a February 2020 Reuters survey of business analysts in China, their country's yearly financial development in the principal quarter of 2020 is required to decrease to 4.5% from around 6.0% in the past quarter. Much of this is because of the flare-up, and it's relied upon to influence every one of us. Nonetheless, these business analysts anticipate that financial development could bounce back rather rapidly if the flare-up is adequately contained. How can this scourge hurt the economy so dramatically? Well, individuals are significantly less slanted to travel and utilize different administrations as of now, since they fear being presented to the infection. Notwithstanding, we ought to anticipate that an expansion in memberships should Netflix and other gushing stages as individuals marathon watch appears while covering up in their homes. Some people believe that the coronavirus is a bioweapon going rogue. Where there is the internet, there are paranoid notions. The COVID-19 scourge has been dealt with in a shockingly full-grown manner by individuals on the internet, aside from an image or two. Be that as it may, the flood of new cases outside Wuhan, particularly in South Korea and Italy, has driven a few people to be dubious. The secretive passing of the informant didn't help, either. These hypotheses are false, despite the fact that they surely have pulled in the consideration of numerous individuals. As indicated by one hypothesis, China designed the coronavirus as a weapon. The infection was then discharged to make space for rural expansion. Even legislators appear to have intrigue fever. U.S. Senator Tom Cotton additionally blamed the Chinese government for treachery. Like everything else, the virus has become an issue of racism and politics. Wuhan influenza isn't the main flare-up that began in China. Famously, SARS and the Asian influenza likewise began there. On the dread and vulnerability created by this new scourge, Asians need to manage bigotry and xenophobia. Anti-Chinese assessment has been developing in the previous 2 months. These responses are maybe justifiable, however certainly not sensible. The greater part of the spread to different countries is expected to non-Asians visiting China and coming back to their nations instead of the reverse way around. You are not immune even after surviving the first encounter with the coronavirus. Would lightning be able to strike a similar spot twice? All things considered, truly, that is the general purpose of flood arresters. Tragically, with regards to the coronavirus, a similar guideline applies. Let's state you got the infection and had the option to skip back. You are fine, right? No, not so much. As of late, a Japanese lady was determined to have COVID-19 for the subsequent time. The lady is a visit transport manager in Osaka, which makes her all the more effortlessly presented to contamination because of the quantity of individuals with whom she interacts. 8. That news is horrid on the grounds that it elevates the potential effect of the illness. Moreover, it makes the advancement of a successful antibody less suitable. Researchers are as yet attempting to make sense of how the coronavirus contained a similar individual twice, or if there is another clarification for the twofold positive outcomes. 2. Did it all start with bats, snakes, or even pangolins? Now, numerous individuals have found out about the most plausible starting point of the coronavirus, bats. China has gained notoriety for having an impossible-to-miss neighborhood cooking, as wild creatures can be purchased at open-air showcases and eaten. One local delicacy incorporates a supposedly delectable, and very frightening, bat soup. Scientists are at present attempting to figure out which creature is answerable for transmitting the infection to people, however they are as yet uncertain. 2 other potential guilty parties incorporate snakes and pangolins. 9. If you're new to pangolins, they are cute warm-blooded animals with layered bodies that can twist into a ball when under risk. Pangolins can be found normally in Asia and Africa. Be that as it may, these animals are dealt everywhere throughout the world since they are viewed as a delicacy. It makes you believe that this entire fiasco could have been kept away from if individuals would simply disregard wild creatures. 1. A virus-detecting giant robot was roaming New York. In the event that you were in New York toward the beginning of February 2020, you may have gone over a Make Sense of Strait of Isaac Asimov.